Hello, this is me and my sisters, and we decided to make a direct response to the video titled Pray for Her Ethiopian Chick Who Says a Few Rude Things About African American Women. So,
I'm going to go ahead and state our 5 counter arguments to this ignorant chick over here. Counter argument number 1 is going to be the contradiction towards interracial relationships, which is the first point that she started out with. 2 would be the generalization of African American female upbringing. 3 is going to be the African American culture. 4 is going to be the fact that no one aspires to be African American. And the last point that we are going to close off with would be the qualifications of being an eligible female. And I'm going to go ahead and let my sister here start off with the first point.
Okay, so she opens up her video with a comment that's directed, or as a response that's directed to someone who posted a video about interracial marriages, talking specifically about African American females who are married to Asian Americans. And in the video, that she is responding to, someone stated that these relationships are based on monetary reasons. So African American females are marrying these Asian Americans simply for money. And she disagrees with that, and she says that that is not the case, and that interracial marriages between African American females and Asian Americans is simply a relationship between two people who have similar goals in life, similar long-term goals, and that's why they get together. And then she directly goes and she says and states that interracial marriages between African American females and Asian men fail because they don't have the same similar long-term goals. She contradicts the exact point that she makes. And I just wanted to clarify the reason why she is doing this. She is married to an Asian American man, and her starting argument wanted to separate herself and her marriage from the typical, or from the rest of African American female marriages to Asian men. So what she's stating is that her marriage as an second generation African female to an Asian man is not based on monetary values. It's rather based on the same similar long-term goals. However, African American females who are married to Asian men, their relationships fail because they don't share the same similar long-term goals. And you can't take this argument. No one should take this argument because it's a contradiction. The first premise contradicts her conclusion. And we just wanted to reject that. No one should look at this argument as an intelligent argument.
The second point that we're going to move on to here is the generalization of African American female upbringing, and that is going to be discussed again by my sister here.
So she goes further to explain her reasoning behind why interracial marriages between African American females and Asian men. Also, she does not state specifically Asian men, but she's just talking in general African American females with any other man who is not of the same race. She stipulates that these relationships fail because they don't have the same long-term goals. And the reasons why they don't have those same long-term goals is because of a failure on the side of the African American females. She goes and states that the reason these marriages fail is because these females were brought up in, she states 50% of African American females are brought up by either a single mother or a grandmother. And then she goes further and she says 90% of these females look for mates as father figures rather than partners in life, you know. And I'm going to disagree completely with this point on the grounds that these are just simple generalizations of facts that are heard all over the media. There are absolutely no backbone or any supporting statistics that she provides for these numbers that she gives us. These are simply opinions that she generated not on her own research or on any sorts of legitimate information, but just rather it's just simply opinions that she heard from the public. Everyone hears these numbers, not the numbers, but the generalizations that a lot of African American females and African American people in general are raised in these single parent houses, and they're brought up by either a mother or a grandmother. These are just things that we hear in the media from everyone. They are not anything that is supported in fully. And to use that information and say that the reason these marriages fail is because the upbringing of these females, I would disagree with that. Because if any of us was to go and research this, then we would find a lot of interracial marriages between African American females and other men who are successful regardless of the upbringings of these females. And it's a generalization that should not be used to prove her point.
Bravo, sister. And the third point here is African American culture and how African Americans don't have a culture. And I'm just gonna have to make this quick and easy. America is in fact a melting pot. Everyone that came to America came from a different country for the most part, and most of the people that have been here for a long time, an example, African Americans, have created their own culture. So to say that African Americans don't have a culture is very ignorant and is just stupid. I'm sorry. Irish Americans, Scottish Americans, any kind of American has created their own culture. America has a culture, and to say that African Americans lack one and that they want to latch on to any culture to have a sense of a culture is very ignorant, and it's just really sad to me that you don't see that. And the fourth point here is no one aspires to be an African American, and if you live in America, sweetheart, you would see that the president is in fact African American and his wife is in fact African American. And I would say safely that a lot of people aspire to be Barack Obama, the most powerful man in the world who just happens to be black. So yeah, fix yourself because you're stupid. Okay. And the last point is qualifications of being an eligible woman
Wonderful.
to get a man.
All right, so the qualification for being a eligible woman are, according to you, not being loud, not being rude, and lastly, speaking proper English and having proper grammar.
Okay.
So let's start with the last one. Worser is not a word.
Not a word.
Bad English.
Not in a dictionary.
Let's see. Being loud. Now, people could just be loud by raising their voice. But then now that we live in the technology world, you could be loud by posting a video on YouTube. And I'm going to have to accuse you of that. You are being quite loud because a lot of people heard your message. So that's 2. And what's the third one?
Being rude.
Being rude.
You a rude ass bitch.
You were being rude to so many people. To say that.
Shame on you.
To say that being with an African American woman is a failure. What is wrong with you?
You are a failure.
That is very, very, very
You
rude.
are a failure.
So we're just gonna have to conclude here. Yeah, this is our conclusion, right? You are loud.
Yes.
You are rude.
Check.
And you sure as hell don't speak proper English.
In
conclusion, your Asian husband is with you
because he's a
failure in
Nigga,
life.
You a failure.
Yeah, that's what we came up with.
Okay, on a more serious note, you are entitled to your opinion. We are, after all, living in America. But however, I would urge anyone who wants to post something online, to especially some really hateful words and hateful comments like the ones that you're posting, to, if you don't have support for it, if these are just your opinion and you have no support, no proof of these things, there's absolutely no reason to post unintelligent freaking videos attacking people who did absolutely nothing to you on YouTube. And this is just to clarify, this whole video that she posted, it seems to me, is just to legitimize her marriage. Okay,
yeah.
If you are comfortable comfortable that you married an Asian man and this was what you chose in life and this was based on love and similar goals, you will not need to attack an entire population to support and to legitimize and justify your marriage.
Yes. And last but not least, these are two things that I just want to say really quickly. You have absolutely no right to speak for everybody in the world, to say that no Asian American and no Asian would ever want to be with anybody. You are not even an Asian. Shut the fuck up, okay? And B, you have no right to speak for someone that is not there. And
to add to that, she does not even say that it's only Asian men and Asian.
It's everybody.
It's everybody.
Yeah.
Who
you can't speak for
to
everybody.
say that?
You cannot.
That's just
Rude.
ignorant.
Very ignorant.
And
then, okay, we're really gonna end this, but we just really, the only reason why we actually made this video is because the title says that she's an Ethiopian girl. And although we are not Ethiopians, we are East Africans. And it really hurts to see someone from near the area that we're from, be so fucking ignorant. Get a grip, get a life, stop promoting hate.
And we are not you.
And hopefully, I am praying to God for you that your future children don't see this.
Yes.
Have a good day.
How cute they are.
Have a good day.